Hello, this is Susan for SLC Aquatics coming to you live tonight with our special guest, Michael Eugenio from Green Oasis Farms. We hope that you all came ready with your questions. We hope you've had a wonderful day. It's been a great Tuesday for me. And at this time, I'm going to bring Michael to you and let him introduce himself to you. Michael?
Hey, what's going on, guys? As I'll introduce myself like I do in my videos, this is Mike from Arizona and Green Oasis Farms. And today has been a spectacular Tuesday for me as well. I got to talk to a lot of people today on my Facebook page, made a couple of great sales, get some people some good deals that they weren't expecting. I'm all about giving and getting good deals to people. So
everybody's saying hi right now and greeting each other. I always encourage everyone to check out each other's channels. And if you have not subscribed to Michael's channel, I believe it's Michael Eugenio on YouTube. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And if you will, can you get to the chat?
I can get to the chat, yes.
Because I was going to encourage you
to put the link to my channel. Okay, let me see if I can find it.
I should have already had it.
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's not letting me go between. We can always put it in the description if you can't get it now.
I'm going to play with it. Go ahead and tell us about Oasis, Green Oasis Farms, Michael.
So interesting enough, Green Oasis Farms was started on a very simple method. And what had happened, I'll go into it really briefly. I had gotten a 200-gallon saltwater reef tank that I came across for a steal. And I couldn't quite afford to stock it the way I wanted to. So I started selling some of my freshwater stuff to be able to stock it the way I wanted to. And because I was selling my freshwater stuff, it started to catch on. And people were like, these are great deals you're giving out. These are things we really like. And I said, wait a minute, I can actually make money doing this. So I decided to start a small business. I got my business license and I took it from there. And I've been selling plants at a reasonable price just to be able to support my hobby. And then it became more and more profitable. I became more and more popular. And even though I've become more and more popular, I choose to continue to keep the low prices because I feel like everybody should be able to afford this hobby and not go broke. There's nothing wrong with being able to get good stuff at reasonable prices.
That's great, Michael, and we appreciate your honesty and your willingness to even help out the hobbyists that way. I do have a question for you already because you mentioned deals. They wanted to know what kind of deals. Can you give an example?
Well, for example, right now I'm running a special on Anubias, and who doesn't love Anubias? The Anubias I have, you can get 10 of them, and it's an assorted arrangement for just about $3.90 per Anubias when you buy 10.
Right.
That is one of my deals. That's one of my most popular ones right now.
That's awesome. If you're not on Facebook, everyone, I encourage you to set up a Facebook profile so that you can catch some of these specials that he does kind of sometimes at a spur of the moment, and you have to grab them. I just grabbed a special the other day, and it was a free plant, and I paid for the shipping, and it was quite an expensive plant. I believe it was the baby ruby melon sword. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm very pleased with it. It's a beautiful plant, and I can't wait to see it turn red on me and blossom out with new leaves.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that either. Those plants are absolutely gorgeous when they grow out, and the red is just stunning on them. So make sure you're using a little bit of iron, some fertilizers, you'll be all right. Sometimes, actually, believe it or not, without fertilizer, just in some good substrate, it'll turn red already. So sometimes it doesn't need much help at all. It's a very beautiful plant. But I do want to say this, actually. So you're going to hear it from me here first. I did, if you're not on my Facebook page, I did mention this a couple of days ago, but I am trying to give back as much as I can because I do get a lot of support from my online crowd. I am going to be doing weekly giveaways on my Facebook page. So weekly plant giveaways for those of us in the US, sorry guys. So I feel like that would be beneficial to everybody to be able to at least try to get something for free every week. So I want to see in the chat box, how many of you are excited to possibly see a free giveaway every week?
So please take this time to respond with that, a free giveaway every week on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, so far it's all within the United States.
Yes, that's weekly.
A weekly giveaway or free, yeah, free.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, LJ asked to be mod, so I went ahead and gave her the blue wrench power and help watch out for trolls. We have 13 watching, 8 likes, so please hit that like button and share this live stream now on all social media. And it's on Facebook, and I'm not sure if I've seen Nisi yet. Yes, Nisi's in the house and Victor's in the house. And I know Dean's probably wore out from teaching. He teaches special education children, and I believe they're elementary or I don't know, maybe preschool. I can't remember. So Dean H, I don't know if you're familiar with Dean.
Lots of respect. Yes, I am familiar with Dean. Lots of respect there.
Yeah.
My mother actually is a personal assistant and aide for special needs children in the elementary to high school level.
That's awesome. Did you mention how long you've been in business? I think you told about.
I've told you. I've been in business just about 19 months.
19
so
months.
Just under 2 years.
And you are really, really blossoming there. And you're located in Arizona, correct?
I am in Gilbert, Arizona. That's correct.
Gilbert, Arizona. I have a question for you, Michael.
Okay.
And, you know, I really met you indiscreetly through my aquarium box in June.
That's right.
And your business card was in that box, and you were the sponsored business at that time. And I wanted to know, how in the world did you get that honor?
Well, that's a very good question. So here's the thing. I actually met, or I should say, I've been in contact with Greg Jones from way back in the day, probably before he even had 1,000 subscribers. I've always loved his videos. He's always done wonders for the community. And I just love to keep in contact with the guy. He's one of the realest guys in the hobby, one of the realest guys on YouTube. And one day he sent me an email and he said, hey, you know what? I really like what you've been doing. I really enjoy that you're giving back. He's like, how would you like to be in the box? And I said, absolutely. I believe in your product. You believe in mine. Let's work together.
That's awesome. And when you and I got together on Facebook, it was the same spirit decor. You know, I can't say that correctly, even though I'm ex-military. Esprit decor that the Fish Fam has. The Fish Fam has always been united, always been a community that supports one another, helps each other out. And I am all for supporting Green Oasis Farms and anything that you're doing, Michael, mainly because you are concerned about keeping this affordable for the hobbyist, and you yourself get enough support from others that it wouldn't hurt your bank account, even though you're still trying to build and you have dreams in the business and you have plans for your future. And a person like you, you don't sit there idle. You're always constantly thinking about, what can I do next? You know, and it's not about getting rich. It's about, what can I do to help others? Because when we're helping others, that's how we grow.
That's right. That's right. I actually saw something in the chat box that's saying, do you have any Nana Petite? I didn't add it to the website yet, but this is a bag full of Nubius Nana Petite that's going out to a customer right after the live stream. There's about 20 pieces in here. I do have a Nana Petite. I will add it to the website, but if you do want some before I add it, you can always send me a private message. We can work that out.
There is a question in the chat box saying, do you ship anywhere else but the U.S.?
Right now, only the U.S. If you guys know Mike and Sierra Aquanut, they're in Canada. We're always trying to figure out a way to affordably get them plants, but it's pretty much impossible. I'm trying to work out some shipping deals right now, but it's really hard to get things in the right amount of time to be able to get you healthy plants without costing an arm and a leg. It's just really hard.
LJ Aquatics has helped us out quite a bit. She put up here a Nubius deal at your website. She put up your main shopping site as well. Anyone interested, go there and check out his website. Hopefully after the stream, not while we're streaming, because we may be able to answer some of your questions. Or if you're even browsing it while we're streaming, you know, bring your questions to us while we're live. LJ says, do you have the Anubius? Oh, you saw that one.
Yep.
Multi-Tank said, maybe I can put like 30 in the big tank with the Oscar and green Tetris.
Hey, it might work. If your Oscar leaves plants alone, it could work. I've had people with planted Oscar tanks, and then I've had people with Oscars that doesn't work at all. So have you tried plants before in your Oscar tank? I'm not seeing a response to that, but we will. If they do respond, we'll get that, because I'd love to see it. I always love people who try to go plant it in tanks that people say that you can't really plant so much, because you can pretty much plant any tank. It just depends on the temperament of the fish. And it says, don't you guys need crazy permits to import export? Yes, yes. So that's another thing. Some of these fees to go over the border with plants are very, very pricey. So it almost makes sense if somebody's going to buy plants from me overseas or over the border to Canada or whatever, you have to order a lot. You can't just get one plant, because it's not worth it for any of us. It just would cost hundreds of dollars. So if you want a good deal and you live across the border in Canada or other places, you have to order quite a bit. And that's why I'm just trying to figure out, I wouldn't say ways around it. I'm trying to figure out ways to make it possible. It's just, I've been trying now for 18 months and I've been striking out.
LJ asked, can you do special orders? Like if someone wanted a crazy rare plant, could you get a hold of it?
Yes. Yes, I can get a hold of almost every plant. I have a very extensive list that I can order from. It just depends on what it is, but most of the time I can find what people are looking for, and I do special orders. So on my website, you can see there's a spot where it says contact us or custom orders. If you put your information in there and you ask me in there, I can get you a definite answer, whether it's a yes or a no and how much it's going to be.
LJ also says, I'm doing a planted shell dweller tank, and people keep telling me it can't be done. And I'm glad we have similar philosophies.
Absolutely. You know what? People say things can't be done all the time. I mean, people say you can't have planted goldfish tanks, but you see it all the time. I mean, Corey on Aquarium Co-op proved to us that he had a planted goldfish tank when, in the longest time behind him, he would have it when he was doing his live streams or whatever. I have planted goldfish bins outside. They don't touch the plants. I mean, it just depends on what plants you keep. There's always an option, usually.
Dank's Tank says hire a smuggler.
Hey, I'm trying to do everything by the book.
Yep, I agree. It's always best. Of course, he's a joker anyway.
Yes.
But it's always best to do things the honest way.
That's right. That's how you get ahead. No shortcuts, everything the honest way.
Yeah, Jean Michael's in the house. He is from Canada. He is our young French man.
Okay.
I don't know if you follow Jean Michael or not. He is a natural nature guy that he does insects and snakes and lizards, frogs, turtles, etc. He has a name for the terrarium that he sets up with natural grass. He has grass that he grows. He has moss that he grows.
You know what? I'm a big fan of terrariums. I want to start one myself. I'm definitely going to check out that channel and subscribe, because to me, there's nothing better than a really nice terrarium. Those are awesome. And I'm going to start carrying terrarium plants on my website. I've been actually talking about that with a few people.
And he does have a goldfish in an aquarium inside the house as well. And he has other fish, but I can't remember because I'm old and I watch hundreds of YouTube channels all the time.
That's funny.
Corona Ken, who wouldn't like free? I'm going back up the chat because I missed some things. Kayla's in the house. Hello, Kayla, the Nana Chick. I'm glad to see you out tonight. Of course, Multi-Tank is in the house. Angelo's in the house. Jenna Tucker's in the house. Hello, Jenna. She's my sweetheart. I went to Georgia and actually bought a 55-gallon from her with gouramis and the angelfish.
Okay.
in that common pleco that I'm treating now. But everybody's really looking good in that tank. I think I've got a good handle on that Camoenus worms. I want to know, you're not just a plant guy, are you?
I'm not just a plant guy. I mean, right now I typically only sell plants, but we are getting into fish. So another spoiler alert. I am in the process of constructing a 10 by 14 little room outside of my house that's going to be temperature controlled, where I will be keeping fish on hand, and there will be fish available on the website shortly as well. And I am working a deal with another YouTuber where they're going to be selling fish for me as well until I can fully get set up.
That's awesome. If you all have not checked out Michael's channel, he has a great video on climate control inside that greenhouse.
Oh yeah, that's the $1 million question. How do you keep plants and fish going in Arizona? Because during our summer months, we can get as hot as 120 degrees here. The greenhouse can get up to 140. All right. But that climate control is amazing. And I do it with misters and evaporative cooling. And when I turn those misters on, it goes from like 130, 140 degrees down to like in the 80s within a few minutes.
That's awesome. I miss Sergeant Tank. He came in and he said, hello, great to see you, Susan and Michael. Hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy's awesome. I've been going to a few of his live streams lately. He's a really awesome guy. He does a great job.
He is. He's a super guy. Very knowledgeable and very helpful. I have the self-cloning crayfish that I bought from him, and she has turned into a architect, and she has rearranged the bottom part of the aquarium. Today I caught her beside the sponge filter, and she was wedging herself between the sponge filter and the piece of Mopani driftwood, and she was moving the driftwood where she wanted it to go.
Oh yeah, they anything you buy like that, like I have those fiddler crabs, and I feel like they rearrange everything too, and I keep those outside of my greenhouse as well.
Oh wow! Down the wormhole, Dee is in the house. Hello, Dee. Happy birthday to Dee. Today is her birthday, and she's going
Happy birthday.
Going to live stream after us tonight.
All right, perfect.
And so I look forward to seeing that and participating. Let's see, Dank's Tank. He has a fire dart frog video. Check it out. Yes.
I'll have to check that out. I love reptiles, amphibians, insects. You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy because I'm always looking at these different things. I'm a real big DIYer, and if I can have an excuse to get an animal, I have an excuse to build the cage or enclosure for it. And I've been toying with the idea of getting a bearded dragon enclosure and building that. So we'll see. I might have some DIY videos coming up on how to build some of those.
That's awesome too. We have to look forward to that. Bye-bye, Jean-Michael. He has to go eat. Thank you for joining us. Sherry Swinney is in the house saying hello. Amon's Aquarium saying hi. And my chat box just scrolled up again. We've got 19 watching. Y'all need to spread this word, y'all.
Spread the love.
Spread the love and get everybody in here. This is a very special moment to have with Michael, and I am so glad I have met him. And he has inspired me, and I really appreciate you, Michael.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those words. And that's one of my overall goals too, since I can actually reach, I don't have a large reach yet. I'm just over 700 subscribers, but I really hope to become one of the big guys one day, because I just want to inspire people to really just live out their dreams. What turned into a small hobby for me is turned into a business, and now able to support my family based upon the money that I make from this particular great hobby of ours. So anybody can do it. It's really not something that's, I mean, yeah, it has its challenges, but it's not something that's impossible. If you have the passion for it, you can do it.
Amen. Aquatics, that is Keith, and he's in the UK. And he asked, would you be able to name the other YouTuber that will be selling fish for you so people can order if they wish?
As of right now, it's a secret. I wish I could, but it's a secret right now. It'll happen. It'll happen soon enough, but we're still working things out with their fish room and making sure things are up to par so we can get it going.
And that's understandable, Michael. A lot of times, even Corey is not able to give his sources because they're wholesalers or have other issues. And like you said, your situation is not in stone yet. It's still in the planning
Right.
in the planning stage. So AMA, we will keep you posted. Mike will be glad to keep you posted as that happens.
Absolutely.
LJ says, wow, we only get to 105 in Virginia, but with 80% humidity it's like a killer. And it's the same thing here in Alabama. We might just get to 95 or 96, but the humidity is over 100. So
that's insane. I mean, I can tell you that I know what that feels like because in my greenhouse, the humidity is over 100, 100% in there, and it can get over 130 degrees in that greenhouse. Like I said, 130 to 140 with 100% humidity. It's a great way to lose weight, though, by the way.
being in a sauna.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. Let's see. If you have them, Michael, can you put mothballs on the website if you have mothballs?
You know what? I literally just ran out of mothballs, and I'm going to put them up. They are such a fast seller that I never get a chance to list them because everybody always sends me private messages, and I send them out.
Do you mind me bringing up the snails that you got in the other day?
Sure.
Can you tell us what kind of snails those were?
Those were mystery snails, and I pretty much got ivory, gold. What is it called now? They have an albino, black, and they sent me something called jade, which because they ran out of blue for whatever reason, blue is like the most popular mystery snail right now, especially for the suppliers. The suppliers are running out because somebody's buying them in very large quantities. So they sent me something called jade, which was an interesting green color, and I did really like that. So I'm probably going to start ordering that jade on a regular basis, especially if I can't get blue all the time. So I got, I don't know, probably a couple hundred, I would say, 100 of each color. And currently, like you asked me the other day, those are all gone. All right. We sell out of snails every week. So I have to order more. So I usually get my shipments in every week. I actually am going on a vacation at the end of the week. So it won't be a shipment this week, but there will be one next week.
Well, yay for your vacation. Will they be on your website, and is there a price that you have for them?
Yes. So they are on my website. And well, the jade are not on my website yet because I didn't even know they actually existed in my supplier. They recommended it to me. They said, if you don't want the blue, we do have something called jade. And I said, well, you've been holding out. So they sent me the jade, but the jade's going to be as the same price as every single other snail. I throw specials on the snails. Sometimes I do them for $1.99 a snail. Sometimes I do them for $2.99 a snail, $3.99 a snail. It just depends on what's going on at the time. So I do change them every now and again, but if I ever put up there that there's a special on snails, hop on it because I randomly change sales all the time, as Susan mentioned it earlier.
I'm behind in chat, so y'all forgive me. Big Easy says, ask Mike about the new hat. How's it come out?
The new hat. All right, so that's the all black hat with the Velcro back, not like this one. This is the Flex Fit hat. So far, I really like the quality of the new hat. I'm actually contemplating doing something different rather than just having the logo with the green Oasis Farms here. It might have a bigger logo just on one of the side panels, and we're going to see how that goes because I want it to look a little different than this one. So we'll see, but I am loving the quality of that hat. It's going to allow me to sell the hats on the website because I've had people coming out of the woodwork left and right. Hey, can I buy a hat from you? And you could. So here's the thing, like if you wanted a hat like this, these actually cost me $35 to make because I don't order them in bulk. So when I tell people that and I charge them that, I'm not making a penny on that. That's before shipping. So it's like I don't want to charge people $40, $50 for a hat. I mean, if they want to support me and do that, that's fine. I don't make a penny on them, but I rather get something on the website that will be less money and people will still feel like they're supporting me. I don't want to be putting $50 hats up there just so it can cover the shipping cost and everything. I mean, if they really want this hat, I will do it for them.
That's awesome. Thank you, Michael. Um, Sorry about the interruption in the video. If it locked up on you guys, I believe my signal might be fluctuating a little bit, even though I have great upload speed, but sometimes that happens with the Google Hangout. My software sometimes conflicts with Google Hangouts.
Gotcha. What operating system are you running?
I have Windows 7 Home, I believe. I refuse to go to 10. I hate 10.
You know what? I'm at 10 and I didn't like it. I'm getting used to it now. It works a little bit better for me now with all the social media that I've been using lately. And that's why I like it now. Before I was heavily using social media, I didn't like it, but I can really get appreciation for it with the social media. So you might want to try it eventually.
Well, I have 10 on my laptop, but downstairs in my fish room, I only have Wi-Fi, and I've got to get a really, really long Ethernet cable to hardwire it.
I have a 100-foot Ethernet cable right now going to my computer, so my live stream is good.
That's great. Let me see. I'm still behind in my chat. AMA says, I'm working on ordering from the UK as our laws for import are different from yours.
That's right.
And not as strict as I can. Order from Germany and Rio live fish, and it's only 80 euros air cargo. I don't know what euros are, but 80 euros sounds like a lot to me. But
well, I'm not really sure, but I know it's over $80 for sure, because it's more than ours.
Ouch. But keep on working with it, Ama, Keith, and keep us posted on that. Let's see. LJ says custom hats are ridiculous.
They are. Yes, they are. They cost a lot of money. So like this Flex Fit hat, and I said it the other day in my video, in order for me to be able to sell this to you guys, to be able to get it cheap enough, I have to order probably, I think the thing was about $6,700 worth of hats. And honestly, I as much as people want to buy my hats, I'm not sure I can sell that many hats, and I don't want to lay out $6,700 for hats.
Yeah, I know it. Captain Spicy is in the house, and I was thinking of him when we were talking about snails. And of course, his question was, do you ship to Canada?
And the simple answer is livestock, absolutely not right now. And it's because there was just too many fees involved. I'm trying to get something to be able to get it to you fast enough so it's still alive when you get it at a reasonable price, unless you're looking to buy tons in bulk, but then we have to figure out any type of fees across the border too. So,
well, I hope he doesn't mind me describing him, but he is our snail lover, and he keeps us entertained with his videos. So if you haven't checked out Captain Spicy, please do. You will love his romancing of his snails. It is just beautiful.
Right. Oh, thank you for that. €1.84. Okay. All right. So I was slightly off, but yes, that's. I'll tell you. Let me tell you something. That just in general, shipping stuff outside the country, you'd be surprised the amount of fees they want to hit you with, especially things that have living, or potentially could have living things on there. Plants, they may even hold them for quarantine to see if there's anything on there that could potentially be harmful to your country. When I get them shipped to me, when they come into the airport or something like that, sometimes they hold them for 24 hours under observation to make sure there's nothing attached to them. So there's a whole lot of stuff that happens.
And that's hard on livestock. So, LJ says 80 euros equals 95.71.
Yeah, it changes all the time. But yes, it is slightly higher than $80.
Yep. Well, we appreciate it. Anybody's got any more questions? I'm going to take a break. Michael, if you can think of anything else, the show is yours for right now.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So how many people in here are already subscribers of mine? So now I'm not sure if the chat box is delayed or not, but I don't see any responses. Let's see. Oh, did I answer carried moss balls? Okay, well, yes, I do carry moss balls. They always sell out before I'm able to put them on my website, but I will definitely put them on there for sure. All right. Perfect. Any other questions about things I carry or anything that you want to know about me personally? Susan shared it in the chat box. I'll have Susan share it again when she comes back for my channel, so you can go in there and subscribe. So with fish, they hold you for 2 hours for release. Yeah, that's not uncommon. They hold them for a few hours. Fish, for whatever reason, they're a little bit less risky when they come in, so they don't hold them as long as the plants. So for example, my airport tells me that they look for different types of moths and different types of larvae that may be in the plants that could potentially be invasive towards Arizona. So they definitely hold them. They hold them for a good 24 hours, and sometimes it's not fun, especially when somebody has a custom order on my order and they want their plants as soon as possible. So I do get that. Yeah, it is a little delayed for the chat box, but you know what? It's okay. It's working out pretty good.
Hi, I'm back. Yeah, it's 15 to 30-second delay. Depends on where you are. Where Keith is in UK, he says it's about a 30-second delay. Here it's about a 15-second delay in Alabama. So,
right. As far as mosses, I'm actually looking for a good supplier of mosses right now. My current supplier, I buy Java moss by the pound. So I always get like these 2-pound bags of Java moss. The only issue I have with it is it's grown and merged. So there's quite a bit of die off and it takes a very long time for it to grow back. So if you want the immersed version of Java moss, I can definitely get that, but it's not something, if you put it in your tank right away, it's going to start to die off and brown unless you're hitting it with some CO2. So that's, it's not something I really want to get into right away because a lot of people want to just be able to plop it in their tank and then it's good, so I want to just do the easiest stuff possible.
David Betancourt's asking for your channel, and Victor and I have shared it, so he wants to sub you. Thank
Perfect, thank you.
David. And let's see, with the fish I order, they only hold them for 2 hours. We already read that,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yes, we did.
All righty. Vince Smith is in the house. Hello, Vince. What fish do you keep in your greenhouse?
All right, so in the greenhouse currently right now, I have Bristol nose plecos, I have fancy guppies, I have goldfish, I have mollies, and I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, and Danios. So those are the fish right now that do very well. Those fish are outside all year round. So in the summer months we get extremely hot. In the winter months we get pretty cold actually. During the day it's not cold. We hit like high 60s, low 70s in the winter, but at nighttime it can get down to 40 degrees, like high 40s. So it's cold for Arizona. I know the rest of the country is like, oh, what a wimp. High 40s is nothing, But yeah, it gets cold enough. But I do what I do is I have a propane heater that's rated for like a log cabin. It's a really nice one with a thermostat, and I keep that going. And I only replace the propane. I replace it like once every other week, and it keeps the temperature at night in the mid to high 70s, and the water temperature never gets below 69, 70 degrees, and the fish do just fine.
Yeah, that's one thing about the hobby that a lot of people don't realize. Whether you're shipping animals or plants, we have to watch the weather, and we have to be on top of it all the time so that we don't lose livestock or plants. And that's just part of the hobby that we don't think about a lot of times.
Right, and especially with this hurricane that just happened, and that's a real shame. But that's something you want to be concerned about when you're shipping stuff. If it has something that has to go across the country and it has to cross paths of where a hurricane is going to hit, you may lose that item. So you might want to tell your customer, hey, is it okay if we wait till after the storm hits? And whether they want to hear it or not, say, listen, it's for the safety of the animals. The animals always come first.
Yes. That's a very important point right there. And I think a lot of us as customers, if you'll think about it, it's better to wait than to be in such a rush.
Oh yeah. Hey Vince. I see Vince from Arizona as well as in there. Vince is always in the social media with the Phoenix freshwater aquarium group, and he's always showing me love.
That's awesome. Thank you, David, for the compliment on my hair. David wants to know, Michael, what's your favorite fish setup, etc.?
The easiest one possible. Actually, you know what's funny is I just set up a discus tank, 125 gallon, that I'm turning into a display tank. Slowly but surely, it's happening. But the discus tank, believe it or not, has been one of my easiest setups because if you keep a very successful planted tank, you have to do a 50% water change every week. And if you can do that with discus, you'll have no issues with them. You'll keep a stable pH, you'll keep the water quality good. I mean, granted, you have to have the proper filtration as well, but the discus tank has been my favorite that I've run so far.
Well, I have a question about out in your
video bomb.
Hey,
That's off my shirt.
Yes.
Hey, that's a nice shirt you got there.
Thanks,
Michael. This is my husband, Rod.
Hi.
Very, very nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. I just had to interrupt.
Thank you, hon. Love you. About out in the greenhouse, what type of automatic water system do you have out there?
Well, it's a very cheap and inexpensive. I have an Orbitz timer that goes to a hose, and then I have just a misting system. Believe that was made by Orbitz too. It was like a 15-foot strip with the misters attached. I now have 2 strips, so it's 30 feet of stripped misters, and they go off every 30 minutes to cool it down back to 80 degrees, and the water temperature stays stable. Everything stays good in there.
Do you have a regular water change for your plants, or?
Yeah, so every week we do. I have 1 tree left. I had 2 trees. One ended up dying to an extreme cold in the wintertime, and it just got messed up. It was a grapefruit tree, which I loved, and the cold got it because it wasn't covered up properly. I don't know. I just thought I covered it, but it got some frost on there and it died. But my orange tree that's still alive loves my water changes because I run a hose right from my IBC tote system right to that, and we do about a 200-gallon water change like once a week on there.
Thank you, Michael. Let's see. Thanks, Tank says, I'm about to set up a fish room, nothing but Java moss.
Nice. I'll buy it from you when you got it going.
Yeah, it could be a supplier. Chris 1BXL is in the house. Hello, Chris. Jenny
Hello.
Lee in the house. Jenny Lee has a birthday on the 31st, so y'all check out Jenny Lee on the 31st. I believe she's doing a live stream.
Excellent.
Okay. Short and Anxious is in the house. Do you know Short and Anxious?
I don't actually.
On Facebook, she's Nicole.
Okay.
So she's a trooper. She was part of the fish fam long before I joined in, and her job kind of took her away from us a lot, but I'm glad to see her out tonight. Let's see. Are discus able to tolerate hard water?
Yes. Yes. So here, that's a great question. I get that all the time. The water is extremely hard here in Arizona. Tons of minerals. Very, very hard. So when I got my discus, I wasn't sure of. They actually came from, if anybody's heard of Seagrass Farms, my discus came from a large order I made from Seagrass Farms, and I wasn't really sure of the water that they were coming from. So I drip acclimated my discus for about 12 hours, and they've been fine ever since. And when I do water changes, we're doing water changes with tap water. It's not RO or anything like that. Not to mention, I've talked to a few discus breeders, and they say that they're breeding discus in like the 7 pH range. It's the wild discus that need the very soft water. But anything that's bred in captivity can withhold very, very high pH.
Captain Spicy again has asked what state you're in, and do you have a pickup location?
I am in Arizona. I don't have a pickup location. I mean, if there are people who live pretty much in my neighborhood, they're more than welcome to stop by, but I rather just do everything online and mail out. So, because I don't know if anybody's tried to sell locally in their local neighborhoods, and you get a lot of people who flake on you and they don't. So I rather just say, hey, you know what, order online and I'll mail it to you. I don't have to worry about waiting and possibly missing something with my son instead of going with him somewhere, so.
Well, Jenny Lee is complimenting the shirt. I want one. Now, which one, mine or Michael's?
Probably yours. They don't really see mine.
Yeah, you're
I'll
gonna
just
have to
stand up.
stand up.
Right there. It's my Green Oasis Farm shirt.
Do you sell that on your website?
That's coming too. I actually ordered some shirts in bulk, so I will be able to sell those.
You don't do Teespring?
Nope. I rather have everything on hand, be able to feel my inventory to see if it's the the certain type of quality I'm looking for. So either way, I like doing things with probably the old-fashioned way. I know there's plenty of ways of making shirts and getting them shipped out right from websites, but not quite up to that yet. I'd rather do it the old-fashioned way.
All right. I'm going to look up mine for Jenny, and I'm going to post my link in the chat. So if anybody does want to order one from me, and of course Michael is working on his, check out everybody's channel and subscribe. We've got 22 watching and 22 likes. Appreciate
Perfect.
that.
Really appreciate that.
I know we've had some in and out, and it's popping up and down. So, let me see.
You guys hearing my dogs? My dogs are barking in the background.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have an Australian cattle dog and a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier mix.
Wow.
They're both rescues.
Beautiful though. That's beautiful. That's what we do. My two bettas came from Operation Betta Rescue back in I want to say July. I ran a campaign, and a lot of people went out and rescued bettas from Walmart and PetSmart,
Right.
Petco, and some received rescues from friends or neighbors. And then Bob Steenfott got on the betta and started ordering bettas offline. So I don't know how many he has now.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, you know what? I had an opportunity to order a couple hundred bettas not that long ago, and I didn't do it. I just don't have the room for it for all those separate containers. But they are when you get opportunities to order top quality betas at a good price, you probably should jump on it. So I'm really glad somebody got a hold of that deal.
Yeah, sometimes it's not. You can't be the one who does it.
Right. Yeah, I can't carry everything.
Yeah. Let me see. Racing, I'm trying to find out what your question was. Because he had asterisk Oasis. So there must have been a typo somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. People are subbing each other, and that's great.
That's great. Show everybody support. Everybody needs it.
Jenny Lee, you can get a t-shirt for your birthday. Nope, you won't be able to get one that fast, but they
hey,
do
buddy.
charge. Hey, is that little man?
Little guy. Yep, my little guy. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Say, you like the fish in the greenhouse? Right.
Yeah, right now they mimic everything we say.
Absolutely.
Jenny Lee, the Teespring campaign will allow you to go ahead and print one before the campaign is over, but they charge extra. I think anywhere from $6.99 to $9.99 extra of the cost, and I think they ship it to you within 2 or 3 days. But I don't think you will get one for your birthday yet. Maybe the day after if you ordered it now, because I don't do the shipping. The company does the shipping. Short and Anxious says, thanks to racing. I'll let them keep their conversation going. Chris says something about GH and KH are the key. First for discus, pH of 6.5 is great. He was answering the hard water situation with the discus. I
keep mine actually at 7.1. And not to say that there's no one way better than the other, but if here's the thing, if you drip acclimate your fish correctly and long enough, they can handle things that you would never think they would handle. But 6.5 would be ideal.
Okay. Amen says he's been lurking, and I see David in the chat. What's up, brother? Okay, there's no other questions right now, y'all. Is there something else, Michael, you want to bring up?
Well, just out of curiosity, so if we were to do a weekly giveaway on my Facebook page, what are some of the things that you would like to see to give me some ideas?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves free stuff, but if I don't know what to give you for free, we'll see. We'll see what everybody says.
I need some vowels.
I got them. I got them.
I saw them on the webpage. Yeah, I need, what is my 55, 21 inches high?
Right. Do you want jungle val or corkscrew?
It doesn't matter, really. I've got gouramis and that common pleco, which is up for sale if anybody wants to buy him. He's growing so fast.
They get so large.
Yeah. I'm gonna check with my local fish store first to see if he wants it, because
Thank you, Jenny.
he has a lot of great, yeah, she subbed you. He has a lot of larger tanks than what I can have, and I probably will never get anything bigger than a 55. So.
And then Vince said, how long have I been in the hobby? Vince, my entire life. My first fish tank I had was when I was about 4 years old, and I just been accumulating them ever since. So I pretty much have an aquarium at my house, as well as that greenhouse in the backyard. And as far as selling plants, I have been selling plants like 18, 19 months now.
Yeah, I know you introduced all of that at the beginning of the stream, but I am curious, how in the world, or what made you think of going with such a big greenhouse?
Because I started with a smaller greenhouse and I outgrew it. Just like everybody else does in their fish rooms.
Yeah, multi-tank syndrome, multi-greenhouse syndrome. I saw a storm tore off that cover.
Oh, yes. Right now the cover is completely destroyed again from another storm. So I'm just waiting on the monsoons to completely pass us, and then I'm just going to put it back. Because right now the weather is okay. It's perfect for what the plants have going on. So I'm not really concerned about it. They're getting shade, which is good. They're not getting direct sunlight. And the only reason why I really kept the cover on in the summertime was to keep cats out of there from trying to eat my fish. So right now they're okay, because my dogs, I have a dog door. So when cats get in my backyard, my dogs chase them out. So they guard the greenhouse. I tell them that they are the top aquarist and they need to protect the aquarium at all times.
That's awesome.
Aquarium duty for the dogs.
Now, you grow all of your plants submerged or some emerged?
Both. So what happens is eventually they start growing emerged, because I keep them under the water, and just the nature of being outside and the way they naturally grow, they actually will grow above the water and start taking over the ones underneath. So the ones that are growing underneath, because they've gotten so long, now become the root systems. So it just depends. I don't normally keep plants long enough to do that, but I have, just to experiment with it. And I've had probably about 2,000 red Liguigia just pop up and completely became immersed out of nowhere and took over, and all the ones underneath it just became the root systems. Yeah,
wasn't it one of your videos that I watched that actually showed the different flowering once it became submerged?
Oh, yeah. So
immersed.
Yeah, so like the Bacopa, so moneywort, that has a really nice purple flower. Wisteria actually has a very nice purple flower. I haven't got the Liguigia to flower. I'm not sure if it does or not, because I haven't seen it, but I can tell you that my Madagascar lace plants, they flower all the time, but they're growing submerged. They just throw flowers to the top of the tank, and those are beautiful. Those are white and blue. Yeah, you have some really long lace plants, don't you? The one that I kept for myself, the leaf itself is 24 inches. They're about as thick as my forearm and a lot longer than. I'd hate to see the price on one of those plants. You know what? On a 24-inch Madagascar lace plant, let's just say priceless. Priceless. It would be too expensive. Like it really would. Not to mention, to be able to ship it without their leaves getting destroyed would be very hard. Yeah.
let me see. Some of these people are saying something about needing valves and jungle valve. Is it low tech or need night lighting, etc.?
It's a low tech plant, and the best way you can grow jungle val, organic potting mix, and pool filter sand as a cap. Throw it in there. What'll happen is it melts completely back and then grows back with a vengeance. So when it grows back, it starts throwing off runners right away. And next thing you know, you have more jungle val and you know what to do with. It's one of those plants that's a beginner plant, but I don't like it to be a beginner plant because beginners don't understand the melt back period. And when they buy it, they're like, your plant died in like a week. And I'm like, well, no, give it some time. And then they'll call me back or they'll message me back and say, oh, wait, you know what? It grew back and now I have like 10 out of nowhere. So it's one of those plants I wish there was more explanation of what happens. And actually that reminds me, I got to add a what to expect part in my website so people can actually see that.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I went from plastics to planted aquariums probably within the last 6 to 8 months. And I didn't understand I started going out to my creek and getting aquatic plants out of the creek.
Right.
And I believe it was a water geranium or something like that. Smells horrible when it's melting back.
Yes.
I think it puts off garlic and some other strong odor, and it just went to mush. But
Right.
if I left the roots in, I pulled all that out because I was worried about the water quality for my fish. So I pulled it all out. But then I saw that the root system was so strong, and I'm like, man, this would have come back.
It would have, yeah, for sure. And that's another thing, guys. When you buy aquatic plants, the best thing you can do is make sure you get it with a really healthy root system. So more importantly, if you talk to somebody like me or somebody who's reputable in the business, have them send you a picture of the plant and make sure they send a picture of that root system, because everything can look really nice and green, but chances are if it has a really lousy root system, when you put it in your tank and it melts back, it's not going to come back if it has a lousy root system.
And that's one thing I want to bring up too about your website. I think on one of your live streams, someone asked, since you had some stock photos on your website where, they wanted to know how can they see the actual plant that they are purchasing. And
okay, yeah. So what I do, especially for people who are very concerned about what they get, because let's put it this way, there are hobbyists who are just like, okay, I'm just going to buy this plant, and then there are hobbyists where like, I want to see exactly what I'm getting. I'm one of those people. So what I do is I send personal photos of what I'm sending before I ship it.
Thank you.
If they have an issue with it before it ships, then we will send another photo of something else. So I'm willing to work with anybody.
Well, I don't want to skip over Vince's question. He said, when did you actually start selling plants?
So like 18, 19 months ago, just under 2 years.
Just under 2 years.
Oh, it's actually, I wanted to get to this. I didn't get to it before. So I'm not going to even ask because nobody would be able to guess this. I actually funded my business by starting to sell duckweed. Duckweed was the main source of income that funded everything you pretty much see in my greenhouse. I bought everything with duckweed sales.
That's amazing, Michael.
So that's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Let's say if you don't have any money and you need to start making some money, sell duckweed. We all throw it out in trash bags and things. People buy it. Yep.
The thing that I've learned in the hobby, what works and what is easy, go with that.
Right.
My Corydoras started breeding without me trying to breed them. And then I started researching how to breed them. And I still don't breed them in tanks by themselves. I kind of like let nature have its way. And I'm running out my ears with Corydoras. But
that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it is, because I can really sell a breeding trio for, $20. Easy.
Absolutely. It's good. It's really good.
And so my guppies, they breed easy, but I ended up with mutt guppies, and then, you have to, charge cheap for mutt guppies. because you never know. It's like a box full of chocolates, and you never know what you're
Never know. You never know what you're going to get. However, though, I've gotten some pretty nice hybrids by having guppies and endlers together in the same tank. And I've gotten some really interesting guppies that I thought would be worthless because I didn't know what they were, and people were willing to pay a lot of money because the varieties they've never seen.
That's awesome. I have been blessed the last few months. I purchased the Half Moon Mosaic, so now I have a pure strain of them going. And then a friend, King Lee, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning it. He contacted me and asked if I would take some guppies from him, and his came from a reputable breeder, and these are the green mosaics. I already have people asking for green mosaics, and these haven't bred yet.
Right.
But I do have 6 pregnant females, so I'm looking forward to some fry.
Soon enough, you'll have more than you know what to do with it.
Yes, I'll be buying some more $1 a gallon, 10-gallon tanks to grow out these fry.
Have you watched my video on what I feed my guppies?
You know, I probably browsed over it, but I didn't watch it in detail. So
it's been a long time since that video came out, but I feed all my guppies live mosquito larvae. And they grow fast, they get very colorful, they tend to breed a lot faster. So if you want a high production out of those guppies, live mosquito larvae. Just be careful inside, because if they don't eat something they don't eat, then you'll have mosquitoes in the house.
Yeah, when I feed mine live mosquito larvae, I watch how many drops in the tank, and I watch how many are eaten. If any goes down to the bottom, I don't put any more in till they find it. Or I can get it back out with the turkey baster.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's true. You'll have mosquitoes in the house.
Yep, and they find the most ridiculous spots to reproduce. I've had mosquito outbreaks in my house, not because I was feeding live, whatever, just because I have a lot of aquariums. And actually, believe it or not, the first place I got mosquito larvae in my house was in my sump of my saltwater aquarium. And I didn't think that was possible, but they were in there. And of course, what did I do? I made a video of how to drip acclimate saltwater mollies. And I made the molly saltwater, and they ate the mosquito larvae, and I didn't have that problem anymore.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, you find a solution if you work hard enough at it.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, I know. Have you seen anything in the chat that I've skipped over? So many people.
A lot of stuff in the chat, but I didn't see.
Yeah, y'all know I'm bad about this. So we've got Fish Nerd. We've got 26 watching. I know Chris 1 BXL gave me a suggestion way up in the top when I was talking about needing plants for my 55 Busulafandra. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think I saw a question actually about keeping valves with goldfish, and you can keep valves with goldfish. However, I keep valves in a goldfish 300-gallon bin, and they do fine. But I would say in a smaller fish tank, they may eat it pretty fast before it can grow back.
Yeah, whenever I get too much duckweed in my guppy tanks, I just scoop it out and take it to the goldfish, and they enjoy it. David says, I have low-tech setup with the Amazon swords, Anubias, and some type of Luigia.
That's a bulletproof setup right there for low tech. Those plants all do amazing. Here's the question. How many of you guys knew that you can actually plant Anubias? Everybody's like, what? You can't plant Anubias. You have to tie it to driftwood, but you can plant Anubias as long as you don't bury the rhizome. Keep those roots in the substrate, and you will grow your Anubias, and it'll grow 2 to 3 times faster.
Yeah, my Anubias actually latch a hold of the gravel, the pebbles that I have in my substrate, and they grow from that. You know, from that.
That's how I figured it out. I had them just floating above the substrate, and then when I went to grab some for a customer one day, I said the roots were in the substrate, and the ones that were in the substrate were growing at a faster rate than the ones that weren't. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this with all of them, and they grow, and they're noticeably growing. Unlike Anubias grows slowly normally, but when you root them, they grow noticeably faster.
That's a good point, y'all. Let's see, down hole, Angelo. I just realized I was 22 minutes behind. No wonder I was going nuts trying to watch chat and listen. Go ahead, Angelo. You joined my club. because I'm always behind in chat.
Yep, just not the rhizome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, Chris was saying yes, the Busa Lafandra. You can PM Chris if you like. Those plants don't need substrate and can be glued on the decor.
Yep.
I have a I don't know what kind of Anubias I have. It's a large, I call it the mother plant because my son-in-law gave me a 5-gallon that had swords, crypt, and a large Anubias in it, and I split the rhizome in half and divided the Anubias, and it's flourishing in both tanks really great. I use, Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green. I know you sell a fertilizer. Will you bring that up?
Oh yes, that's Thrive. And Thrive is a 1 pump per 10 gallon. It has micro and macro nutrients. It's very similar to Corey's product. So it's really good. I mean, his product is great. The Thrive is amazing. I can tell you that I won't use anything else. It literally has been a blessing actually, because it took all the guesswork out of keeping a healthy planted tank. No real measuring to do, just 1 pump per 10 gallons. And continue to do my 50% water changes every week.
And I believe it's on sale right now?
It's on sale for $19.99, and every now and again I throw a weekend special for $16.99. So just a quick spoiler, keep an eye out for this weekend. There might be a $16.99 special.
All right. Aman says, that's funny because I never knew that you weren't supposed to put Anubias roots in substrate. I root it all the time, and they've been growing well.
Nobody wants you to know the secret of the pros and how to get their Nubias to grow really large.
Oh man, I don't like glue in my tanks, so I just planted it, hoping for the best, and it worked. Yep.
That was a good guess, and it paid off big time.
Oh wow. Well, we've come up to the hour, and I know others want to stream behind us. Is there anything else, Michael? I feel so honored to have you with me, and I appreciate you taking time out to do this collab. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
I just want to bring up, guys, that if you're ever on my website and you want to ask me questions, I have a live chat feature. You can always do that. I'm willing to talk with anybody. I'm willing to work with anybody. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get you the plants that you want. And I'm just looking to give you guys the most fair prices. So I'm just looking to do what anybody would do for me, especially if I want to treat everybody like their family and friends. So if you give me respect, I'll give you respect back, and you will get the best possible deals that I can possibly give.
That's awesome. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I was looking for Down the Wormhole channel so I could go ahead and link it, but we're gonna have to watch to see when she goes live because I'm not getting it to come up. Thank you guys again. We love our fish fam. Check us out. Check out Michael's channel, and check out his website, Green Oasis Farms, and of course I'll have links on SLC Aquatics Facebook group, and he has a Green Oasis Farms. Is it a page or a group on Facebook?
It's just a page. It's my business page.
His business page. And check him out on Facebook and on YouTube. Is there any other social media, Twitter or anything?
There's an Instagram page in the works, but it's not currently up yet.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Michael. Thank you, everyone. We love my fish fam, and look for some videos and some more impromptu live streams coming up. And Michael and I will be supporting each other, pushing each other to 1,000.
That's right.
And more. All right. We love you. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. See you later, guys. Please subscribe.